Remind me after notes. I'm gonna keep charging on. Yeah. Yes, I always do. Is it in English? You were doing Kahoot. Percent.
I was screaming like a child. Do you think? Chatting a child.
I'm sure I could find one. Yeah.
If you send like the person to solve it.
You could, yeah. I could do that with percent problems probably. Let me look one up for the end of the unit.
I'm not going to
Today's the day that you've been waiting for. If you have been suffering through the last 3 days with percent bar models and your hand has been falling off and just like burning up or exploding after you've written 10%, 20%, 30% over and over again, you have 3 example problems only where I'm going to have you write it so we can compare the shortcut with the bar model. Then I'm going to give you the percent equation, and we're going to practice that without bar models for the rest of your bronze problems. These 3 problems could be either a markup, a markdown, or just percent of. I'm going to have you guess next to the question. If it's a markup, put an arrow up, mark down, arrow down, percent of, just put the percent sign. In a survey of 45 students, 20% said they stayed up past 10. How many students stayed up past 10? Go ahead and label your bar model. 0%, 10%. You only have 3 more times, so make sure that you are doing this as precisely and neatly as possible. I'll make mine look beautiful because mine was getting sloppy in the warm-up. 70%, 80%, 90%, 100%. I'm going to read it again and you're going to vote. Is it a mark up, a mark down, or just a percent? Percent, you're just going to give me a 0. I'm going to read it again, and then you're going to vote. In a survey of 45 students, 20% said they stayed up past 10 p.m. How many of the students stayed up past 10? Mark up, mark down, or percent of, show me. Mark up, mark down, or percent of, hands down. Turn and talk to your partner. A few people disagree. What do you think? 20 seconds. Go. 3, 2, 1. Max, what were you and Jackson talking about? Do you agree, and which one do you think it is? You think it is a percent of, and why? Tell me your reasoning.
Because most of the time when it's a mark down, it's like a discount. When it's a mark up, it's a tax.
If it's going to be a discount or a sale, that's going to be taking some off. If it's going to be tax or adding on money, that's mark up. If they just say a percentage and they say, what's 20% of 45? That's essentially what they're saying. You're only going to take 20% of the number. You're not marking it up or down. Let's take 45 and let's skip count with it. If you divide it by 10, you'll get 4.5. Let's go up from 4.5 to 9. Calculator's down right now. To 13.5. That's all I need. We're going to stop there. 20% of 9 or of 45 is 9. So that's what you already know how to do. We learned that in lesson 7 too. Watch what I can do with a percent of problem. If I know that I'm looking for 20% of 45, I'm going to plug this into an equation and I'm going to put 20% as a decimal. 0.2 or 0.20. 0.2 is the same thing as 0.20, so I'm going to leave it like that. If you are looking for a percent of, a shortcut I can take is multiply 0.2 by 45. I should get 9. Instead of using the bar model for today, if it's a percent of, you're going to take the percent as a decimal, multiply it. That is your answer. Take the decimal, from the percent, 0.2 or 0.20, multiply it, and that's your answer. In the future, when you get problems like this on the CASP or on the homework without a bar model, I'm going to push you to use the shortcuts. This percent equation will save you tons of time. Instead of setting up this whole thing and writing the percents out, I could just multiply it, and it takes me about 10 seconds versus maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Sean. After notes, somebody's going to remind me, and we're going to check the time. Number 2, the dinner bill came to $25, and I'm going to leave a 15% tip. What is the total cost of the dinner? Cameron. It is a markup because it's a tip. Put an arrow up for number 2, and let's label the bar model first. When I get to labeling the top, it starts to be a bit tricky because 25 divided by 10 is 2.5. And then I'm looking for 15% of that. I'm just going to have you pause here. And I'm trying to figure out what's halfway between 2.5 and 5. And things get a little bit tricky. You could probably think about it hard enough. I see a few in row 3 who are getting there in their heads. But this makes it kind of hard. When your numbers aren't exactly whole numbers or counting by tens, it gets tricky when you're trying to find the percents with this bar. I'm not even going to use the bar for this one. Do you want to give me the answer, then we'll check it with the calculator? You think it's 2.75 here? And then it'd mark up by 2.75? Okay. Is it 2.75 or 3?
It's 3.
I think it'd be 3. Okay. So we'll see if we get 28.75 using our shortcut. Instead of using the bar model for this problem, if you have a markup, here's what you can do. Take 100% and add the 15%. So we're at 115% right now. What is 115% written as a decimal? Chad. If I take the decimal and multiply it by 25, since it's a markup, what number do I get? Plug in your calculator right now. 1.15 is 115%. Multiply it by 25. Silent hand when you got it. Silent hand when you got it. Silent hand, Logan. Daniel, silent hands. Hadley, what's the answer? It should be 28.75, which is what we guessed it would be. Yeah. So 28.75 or $28.75 is your answer. Okay, so that's another shortcut if it's a markup. I just add it to 100 and take the decimal. Number 3, a video game is regularly priced $50, but it's on sale for 30% off. Is this a markup, mark down, or percent? Show me. What do you think, Daniel? 30% off is my clue to be a mark down. Put an arrow down next to 3. And let's see what we can do for this one. Last bar model that you will do today, 20%, then 30%, then 40%, 50%, 60%, 70, 80, 90, 100. Counting by what number on the top, Aiden? If it's 50 total?
Counting by
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. When you have a markdown, you're going to take 30% off from the total. What percentage do I get to when I take 30% off? Lauren? 70%. What is 70% written as a decimal? I'll take a hint. Cameron. It's 0.7. What could I multiply 50 by to get my answer for the shortcut, Cameron? Let's try that. In your calculator, plug in 0.7, multiply it by the total. What is 0.7 times 50, Mara? 0.7 times 50. I think you did 0.3 times 50. Check your calculator. That's a great blunder. Try 0.7, Mara, and raise your hand again. What'd you get?
No, wait, times what?
Instead of 15, Mara, what would it be? It'd be 35. So this problem is $35. You could use the bar model, but you could also take the percentage. If I check your voice real quick, because this is a great blunder to see. If I put this answer, I'm going to do it in red because it's a blunder, and I'm setting up the problem for 30% off, what's my mistake? Really key blunder that a lot of us are tempted to make in these problems. Cameron? I'm not paying 30%. I'm not paying 30% of the price. I'm paying 70% of it. So I'm not going to multiply by 0.3. I multiply by 0.7. Next page. You are going to do steps for finding the percents without a model. We'll go through 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make sure you're on that page and your pencil's down. This rare birds. We already caught this person. Justice. This rare bird got 4 inches. Oh, I don't think we caught them, but we did hear this. They got 4 inches of snow. They built a wall of snow. They like the winter, and their favorite sandwich is the grilled cheese. We did not catch them. Logan, who is it? Maybe. Who is it, Jackson? Maybe. Corbin. Maybe. Kate. Lauren. Justice. Daniel. Chad. Cameron. If this is you, raise your hand. It is Jackson. We caught you. Nice job, Kate. Jackson tried to trick us all. This rare bird got 3 feet. They had a snowball fight and they got thrown in the snow. They like winter because of the snow. Snow is written with 8 W's. And they don't know their sandwich. Who is this rare bird? Logan.
Have we caught Chad yet?
No, I don't think so. Mara. Alright, we'll come back to you. Corbin. Maybe. Sean. Maybe. Chad.
Can we do one more?
This rare bird has not been caught. They're back in the stack. This rare bird got about 4 feet. They climbed a tree in the storm. They like the winter because they were born in the winter. And their favorite sandwich is a hot dog because they're yummy. Very debatable answer for number 4. We could spend all class debating about a hot dog. Yes, Daniel. Who is it?
I was born in the winter.
Okay. Mara. Maybe. Corbin. Colton. Anyone besides Sean and Kate? Anyone besides Sean and Kate? This rare bird is back in the stack as well.
I haven't even been caught in that.
Track the board. 3, 2, 1. For these problems, you no longer have a bar model. You have 4 steps, and here's what I'm looking for. You have a calculator, but if I only see answers circled like this, and then this, and then this, I'm going to have you go back and redo the entire bronze for homework. This is what I'm looking for. When you read the problem, you're going to put either a arrow up for markup, arrow down for markdown, or a percent sign for percent up. This first one says a sweater is priced $42.99, on sale 30%, so I'd put a mark down, arrow down next to 1. I need to see that mark. Do it now. Row 2, I'm missing 1 pencil. It's a mark down because it's on sale. Since it is on sale, I'm not going to multiply 0.3. I'm not paying 30% of the price. I'm paying 70% of the price. So I'm going to take the 30% and I'm going to subtract 100 minus 30 to get 70. 70 is now my percentage. Plug that in as a decimal.
50 to equal 70.
It's a 3. It just looks squiggly.
No, that was a 50.
Check your voice. I want to make sure that you finish this one off. When you multiply 0.7 by 42.99, you're going to get an answer and put a dollar amount for that answer. Plug it in right now and raise your hands. 0.7 times 42.99 is what, Daniel? And I'm going to round to the nearest hundredths place. That's my answer. One more. In a survey of 400 people, 42% reported pizza as their favorite meal. How many of the people like pizza? What type of problem is this? Mark up, mark down, or percent of? Sean.
No.
So am I going 42% up from 400, or am I taking some percentage, Cameron?
Sure,
It's okay.
Circle.
This is going to be percent of, and look what I boxed or circled. On your packet, I want you to look for of, Justice, and Logan. You're going to box the word of. If it says how many of the people like pizza, that's probably your clue that you're taking a percent of the number. Put percent next to 2. And what decimal do I multiply by for this problem? Page. Good. Times what page? Good. Plug it into your calculator. What is your answer? 0.42 times 400 is written on my page, and it is in my calculator. Chad. We're going to label it 168 people is my answer. Number 3, read it for me, and then we'll do it with a partner, Lauren, the bill.
The bill at dinner came to $43.76 equal tax. If 6 points had been spent taxes to the bill, what would the final total be?
Last vote, mark up, mark down, or percents. What do you think, Max?
Mark up.
It's a percent problem. You're going to do this with your partner. 6.5% is going to be added to 100. What is 100 plus 6.5? Put that in your calculator if you need to check it. Logan?
I got the answer?
No, what's 100 plus 6.5?
It'd be 106.5.
What do I multiply 4376 by?
Wouldn't it be 100? It would be 1.65, right?
1.065. Good. Make sure that your percents are accurate. They need to be the percentage moved to a decimal. Number 4 I'm going to give to you because we haven't done interest a lot, but this would be a mark up. Move on to number 4 once you get your answer. You're working quietly if you need to check your partner. You whisper talk about math. Nope. Keep going. You got to finish 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to see what you put in your calculator. So round to the nearest number. 46. It'd be 46.60. I think your decimal is a little off. Make sure it's 1.065. If you got 4.3, that's good. Yeah.
Would I do 6-0? Can I do 6-0?
Just 46.60. Look at which one you're missing.
I have like 3.
Okay, yeah. Keep working, I'll get them for you. As I'm walking around, I'm seeing a few people with percents or arrows, but I don't have any 2 numbers that are multiplied. You need to show me what you put into your calculator. Do not just look at the problem and start punching numbers into a calculator. Write what you're going to put first, and then give me the answer in a calculator. Do not just go straight to your calculator from the problem. I need to see these two things on your page. Sign
Almost